Today we're diving into the power of confidence, how to build it, how to trust it, and how to keep it from holding us back. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to up-level or just need a boost in everyday life, this conversation will give you the tools to own your success and unstoppable confidence. Welcome to Talking with Terry TV. I am your host, Terry Cardula, along with our entire live audience. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Girlfriend Hour and our co-host. I'm going to make sure that I get her name right here, Anna Fanganello.
We are not close at all on that one. It is Anne Fanganello, and yeah, there's a lot of letters in there, so everyone butchers it. Don't you worry about it.
My last name is Cardula.
Exactly.
And everyone gets it wrong.
Yeah.
This is coming from the person that has a learning disability, so I'm just saying. Okay.
No, nobody gets my name right the first time, but it's Fanganello, and you won't forget it again.
I know, Fanganello. Especially now we got a shimmy to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we met a while back, and then I heard you speak and give like a 5-minute talk the other day, and I'm like, ooh, I love this conversation because it was about just having confidence, and I love your story about confidence. So let's start there, and then let's start to unpack this concept of confidence.
I am like the most confident person alive. I am so thankful for it. It has given me so much in my life. Because if you're confident and if you feel good about yourself, like I think I'm beautiful, I think I'm amazing, I think I'm awesome. And it's not I think, I am. I'm pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really awesome. I actually really have wondered where it all came from. And I really put the source with my family. My brother, I had a brother who was a year older than I was. And he is so hot. And everyone was in love with him, and everyone wanted to be his friend. He was the Italian stallion in our elementary school. And I was bookish. I had a stack of books this high, Coke bottle glasses, braces, pigtails. I was a chunky little girl. And my brother loved me.
Aww.
He adored me. And so I was a year younger, and boy, if anyone treated me badly, he would beat them up. He would throw sand at them. So I never had any problems. And so I always thought I was amazing. I was daddy's little girl. My mother treated me beautifully. I had a younger sister. And that family dynamic created a world that made me so comfortable in myself. And anyone looking from the outside might have been like, why does that girl think she's so awesome with my crazy looks? And my crazy looks, I was like, yeah. This is what it is. This is what it should be. And so I'm...
What a fortunate gift, because we have 10 people sitting in our live audience right now. Just by the show of hands, and for everyone tuning in, put a check mark if you have had that confidence built in when you were younger. Like, how many of us can honestly say that confidence was there? There's 2 hands that are up. And that's not mine, because I was not that, okay? So 3 of you.
Yeah,
There's 3 of you.
It's really a blessing. And you don't realize it until you're older.
Yeah, because I was extraordinarily shy. And I grew up with the story that I wasn't good enough, and no matter how hard I tried, I was told that I was going to be a worthless.
Oh, now the hands are going.
Oh, yeah, now
the hands are all
worthless. That I would not make anything in life. That I was a nobody. And here's the thing: is no matter the story, whatever you get told over and over, the more that you resonate with it. So your brother loved you, and he's, oh my gosh, this is my amazing sister, right? Every chance he got. My story, and some of your other stories were similar to mine, was like, you know what, you're a worthless piece of you know what. And I got that story, so my story got placed in concrete for me. And then there was just all this evidence that I could start picking and pulling and be like, oh yeah, I remember I got held back in 2nd grade. I used to never talk about the story because it was one of those, oh my gosh, I'm a less than. And it wasn't until my senior year when all the other kids left, because in 2nd grade, when the 2nd graders move on to 3rd grade, and then you're at the same recess, they're like, and I would get told, Terry, you must be really dumb. You failed 2nd grade, right?
Oh.
And it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And so it wasn't really until I stepped into my own power much later in life to own that new story. But my senior year was my favorite year of the entire school because I owned my power, because I no longer had the story of not enoughness hanging over me.
Another thing about my story is that I found, learned that being unique, I was not blonde and pretty and a cheerleader or whatever it may be that was in school. I was the backgammon champion. I literally,
The what?
the backgammon champion.
Wow.
Is that little like toy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like being in debate club or something. It was nerdy.
I thought that was like a recent thing.
No,
Not that-
this was way
Okay.
back. But it was
I
this
thought
thing
this
where I
was
was like, I'm awesome and I am not like everyone else. And so I love looking at people and other people I know and what are their unique qualities? What makes you different? What makes you a really cool person? And having that ingrained in me young, my glasses. I thought my glasses were, I was called four eyes. People called me ugly. And I was like, oh my gosh, these things are so cool. I can see clouds and I can see leaves. And without them, I would be a lesser than.
Yeah.
So there
yeah.
it is. I felt like I was going to be lesser than if I didn't have my glasses. And so there's something about that early bringing up that was
Oh yeah. for
unique
sure.
and different and unusual is cool.
Yeah, and I think mine had to grow into it. I was in second grade or not sixth grade, when I had this like probably what I would consider now a download that I was so shy and I was like, okay, how do I overcome this? So I signed up for the only thing that you could not be shy for. Want to guess what it is? Guess what it is?
Acting.
Theater, close.
Debate.
Debate.
Sing. Choir.
Close.
Oh my gosh.
Class president.
Class
You
president.
weren't it. You weren't it.
I was not it. Oh, the cheerleader.
The cheerleader.
The cheerleader.
But you know what? Talking about building confidence, and one of the things that I will always talk about people is we're always on these two paths. We're on either the student path or the master path. And that student path, so I signed up to be a cheerleader, and I don't know if they just felt really bad for me or they just needed an extra body, but somehow I was number 6 on this cheerleading team, right? I went to a small school, and I was like this big when I was in that gymnasium. Coach, go team, go! And somehow I got on the cheerleading squad, but I had to fake it till you made it, because I was not confident, and getting myself out there, and especially when we broke up and we went along the side for the football
So
team.
you're all individuals.
And you're like 100, it felt like 100 feet away from your next person, even though in real life it was probably 15 feet. But you just felt so far away and you felt so small. And I had to build that confidence within myself. And then in 8th grade, I was cheer captain. And then I started like building that confidence. So talk about fake it till you make it.
I was going to say fake. Oh, that's I was totally going to draw on that. Fake it till you make
What's your
it.
thoughts on that? Because there's some theories. That's not a great.
Oh, I love fake it till you make it, because the fact is we all have fear.
Yeah.
I don't have all that confidence. It's hard for me to even say that because it's just not true. But it's because I've been faking it my whole life. And when you go out there and you're like, I'm gonna trip, I'm gonna fall, I'm not gonna succeed, this is gonna be too hard, I'm not gonna be the right person. I'm like, I am gonna be the right person, I'm going to stand tall, I'm going to be statuesque and amazing, and I am going to do this. And if you just do that over and over, you believe it. I am the person who walks past a mirror and is, wow, hey girl! And it's just this pure knowledge that this is what I've got. It's all I've got. And so it started out as faking it, and I still fake it at times. But it's pretty easy because once you get out there and you're like, today's a hard day, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to survive it. You're like, put one foot in front of the other, put a smile on your face, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it's cool. So fake it till you make it is a good start. But if you keep doing that, you're not faking it anymore.
Here's the thing, what I notice is that you're coming from a place of self-love. And when we can accept ourselves with all of our flaws, not that I'm pointing to one or anything, but when we can accept ourselves of who we are and how we show up, and from a sense of profound love, that confidence grows, right? And
But those flaws are what make us
Yeah.
cool. Who wants to be normal? I want to be weird.
There's
I
one
want to
person
be
that wants to be
unusual.
normal. There's
I want you
always
to
one
turn and
that
be
wants to
like,
be normal.
who's that? I want to walk into a room and have someone say, what? And it might be because I'm wearing a giant yellow thing on my head. And she's nuts. So I think that's awesome. I think it's fun.
I was before we started the camera, we were talking offline. It was like I was at a restaurant on Friday and was sitting at this restaurant, and then I was walking past this lady, and she's, I just love your energy. And probably what I'm gathering, it was me talking, because I'm 100% fake Italian. I just talk with my hands, but I'm not Italian at all. But after she said that, she's, oh, I just love your earrings. I love your outfit. I love your purse. I love, oh my gosh, you just have the whole package. And she was so excited. And I was like, but it's stepping into that, like, just owning your power. I think that's what it is. Like, owning your essence.
Being strong. Like, even when we're feeling weak, even when we're feeling lesser, when we're feeling like, oh my gosh, I am not the right person for this, stand tall, put on the good face, and then believe. Just believe. I am this person. And so suddenly the person from across the restaurant is, what's happening over there? And so I think believing in your heart and really loving yourself. If you love yourself, then there's so much love to give.
I think that's so easy to say. How many of us can agree that's easy to say? Just love yourself.
It's easy to say, and it's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Tips on loving yourself, and I want to hear from all of you all. What's your favorite thing to do to truly? I feel like this is a practice too. I mean, there's some days I'm better at this. There's the other days I'm not so great with it. But what would you say for that?
That's something. If I'm not feeling up to it and I'm not feeling there, honestly, I go into the mirror and I talk to myself. I do. I'm a big person who I walk up to the mirror and I'm like, look, you are amazing. You are awesome. You're beautiful. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, that is not what's going on in the mirror. And I'm like, yes, but did you see that smile? Did you see the giggle that just happened? And so there is something about once you've ingrained it deep, deep inside, I've got this scar, I've got this bump, we've all got a lot. And then to just say, yeah, but I also have this. I think that's what it is. No matter what my negatives are, you grab onto the positive. Ooh, I love my nail polish today. And suddenly there's a smile there.
Yeah.
And so just grab something that makes you happy and then grow from that point to the next. So that's how I do it.
I love it.
I think for myself, the one thing that I look at is you have to be able to, one, almost forgive yourself for not being okay at that moment, but then look at it and say, it's just a moment in time. And that, hey, this is where you're at this moment, but you've overcome so much before, and you just keep going. You look at that positive and going, hey, it's just a hump. It's just where you are right now and where you have come, and you just keep going. And that's has always helped me.
And I think to piggyback on that, to say also just documenting the evidence. I love helping people just document the evidence of positive stuff, because we are going to have bad days. We are human. We are on this having this human experience. We are going to have bad days. Things are not going to go the way we want. And so if you can start documenting the great things in your life, so when you have one of those off days, you can go back and be like, oh yes, get back into that piece of it pretty quickly. Go ahead, you were going to share something?
Sure. I left home as a very young teenager, and living as a survivor, you tend to not look at things as negatives. And for me, the confidence that came to me in a whirlwind was when I just had the courage. Confidence is a result of having courage. So I had the courage to stand up and say, I don't have competition. I don't care what other people are deciding. And once you live in true genuineness for yourself, that confidence oozes. I have a significant amount of confidence. But do I have weak days? I just embrace it. So I never look in the mirror. First of all, I don't talk to myself, so maybe I should try that. But I don't ever look in the mirror and say, oh, look at you. I just go, yep, you go, girl. I just don't have I don't allow for judgment that way. So that's no judgment allows me to be authentic. Being authentic allows me to be genuine. Being genuine breeds confidence. And so leaving home at such a young age and building myself up and being as genuine as I can, not just for myself, but for everyone who knows me. That's what's worked for me.
I love it.
That
And-
word judgment
Yes.
is like the most evil word in the world. And do not judge yourself. Do not judge each other. There are people who something may happen. You may be like, oh my goodness, what is wrong with that person? And I'm like, never judge. You don't know. Their father might have passed away. They might have just had a car accident. There is so much that happens in our lives that none of us know what's going on in other people's lives.
Yeah.
So do not judge anyone for their attitude, for their, obviously when it's consistent, it's over and over. It's not about the word judgment then. It's called bite. So we don't need to hang around with people
Yeah.
who judge us or make us feel bad. And we certainly should not judge ourselves and make ourselves feel bad.
Fair. I think if that is the one thing that we could eliminate from this planet is judgment of ourselves and others. I think the world would actually operate in a really beautiful homeostasis. I think we've been trained to judge because even a positive judgment is a judgment. So like staying in neutrality is work to do without judgment.
And what the whole world is telling us to do is be like someone else.
Yes.
The whole world, whether it's TV and magazines or the teachers, the people around you at school, there's so many things out there telling you should be, you should. And I don't need to do anything that someone's telling me I should do. I should do what I want to do, what I believe, what my dreams
Yes.
are. And
But that's also using discernment. I think discernment is a lost art as well on this planet right now. It's like taking what works for me. If it doesn't work, leave it. No judgment. Moving on. Right? Not my cup of tea. But I think this decisiveness that's happening on this planet, like the this or that, or again, is coming from a root of like judgment. And so again, no judgment.
oh my gosh, so this comes to
This is
a
a
little
PSA.
story.
This is a
Can I tell a little
PSA,
story?
yeah.
Can I tell a little story, which is one of the reasons I'm here, which was when I was still in elementary school, and I was a large child. I was born a size 14, and I was tall, and I was hairy, and I had boobs. Like it all came way too early. And so one day there was girls out at recess, and they called me fat, and they told me I was fat, and I had a big butt, and they didn't say I was ugly. They said I was fat, and it really was about tall, and I had big feet. And I went home, and I was very confused by the whole situation. Because I was like, why would those girls say that to me? Because it's not true. And I was like, maybe I'm bigger than everyone else. But again, I had this great ingrained confidence in myself. So I had this pair of pink Calvin Klein jeans. And I took those jeans, and they were a size 13, the biggest size you could buy at that brand or at that time. And I knew I was in the biggest size. I was headed towards women's. And I was probably like 10 or 11 years old at this time. And I slid those jeans on. I probably had to lay back and zip them up because we know during those times there's no stretch in the jeans. And I went to school in my hot pink Calvin Klein jeans. And I walked straight up to those girls, and I was like, but I'm prettier than you. And it was like one of the craziest things that I ever, like when I think back on that experience and those pink jeans that gave me so much life. If you have people who are telling you wrong, you need to pull your armor. And your armor is, I am a clothing designer. That's what I do for a living. And I'm always talking about use your armor, use your clothing to help, to encourage, to give you support. And boy, those pink jeans were like the perfect armor for that moment in that time.
I love it. I have a couple pieces of clothing that just makes me feel like such a badass.
And they're all hot pink, aren't they?
No, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do have other things besides hot pink. I do. My other staple pieces, I do. But I love that because it's like pulling your armor. What are some other people's armor? I want to get back to Carlene too.
Just about how to get yourself like out of a funk or back into a positive mindset.
Yeah.
For me, I've been very frustrated with my weight lately, and I can like let that just continue to take me down. But what I do is go down the road of, I mean, for those of you that know me, I've had some medical issues, and my body, I had a kidney transplant. My body literally loves this new kidney that is not mine.
Yeah.
That's pretty stinking cool.
That's very
Yeah.
cool.
I have
Yeah.
birthed 2 children. I went through this random colon surgery a couple years ago and recovered great. My body is freaking amazing, and if I'm carrying some extra weight right now, that's okay, because my body has done some freaking amazing things. And looking I always teach people about gratitude. Is when you're going down that road, think about the gratitude in the situation or the gratitude in your life. And it does turn you around if you practice that.
I love that your body loves your new kidney.
I know.
That's good. Yay! Here's the new kidneys.
This is gonna sound weird, but
I love it.
I developed more confidence when I went to the Naked Hot Springs with my husband. We dared each other. It was our 30th anniversary. Like, I am so not that person at all, and he isn't either. So we were like, all right, let's give it a try. We've been married 30 years. You're the only one I care to see naked, and etc. We get there. There's a little old man with a walker, completely buck naked, walking across the parking lot. And I said, if he can do it, I can too. And to be honest, walking around there, I found out even the people that are skinny, nobody's perfect naked.
Yeah.
And that just released so much stress for me. It really did. I was like, this is great. Now I don't have to worry because everybody else looks crazy naked too. So there you go.
That's fabulous.
Slide up.
I'm thinking Jason Momoa probably looks pretty perfect. Thank
Yeah, he wasn't there.
If Jason Momoa was there, I'd still just throw it all and flaunt it all.
I bet he has some weird bump somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure he has something wrong with him.
Something's wrong.
I love it. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back.
Therapist, spiritual guide, business coach. My unique methods blend mindset, energy, and business mastery for deep, lasting change. Ready to become unstoppable? Learn more at talkingwithterry.com. And we are back talking about all things confidence. What a great group of ladies that we have here today. Like, seriously, woohoo!
Oh my God, during the break, it was crazy in here. I was like, the cameras need to be on during these breaks.
There, we should do that. We should do that. Okay, so we always have folks that bring in questions, and so what a great time to answer some of these questions. So this one's, how do you manage obstacles with personalities that you suspect are going to be haters? I love this.
This is a tough one.
So how do you manage obstacles with personalities that you suspect are going to be haters? Because I think there's a part of confidence that can be perceived by others as a threat. And I've experienced this. I'd love to hear what your experience with this has been.
One thing is that I try at times not to be too overwhelming. I am certainly a large personality and I can fill an entire room. And I like to give grace to others and make sure that I'm not just taking over the entire thing. I could.
Yeah.
I could just talk the whole time and no one else needs to talk. It's all about me. and so giving grace to others and listening. I think listening is a super important thing. And then you've got that person that you know, and I have dealt with them, who are just out to get me.
Yeah.
It's like, I am so happy with myself and I am so proud and I've succeeded and I've done all these things in my life. And they're there to say, yeah, but we're gonna just sweep the rug out from under you and ruin your high. We're gonna take you off your podium. And I got a pretty strong podium. And what my thing to do with haters is to help them to love themselves. Just turn the tables on them and say, again, do this talking and listening. Ask a question and turn it so that they get to talk about themselves. It gets to be about them. And so here they are trying to say, why do you think you're so good? And why did you do that? And what do you think that you did that was, I'm like, what did you do in the same realm? And so working to make others be happy about themselves. Because I think haters are people who are just like trying to take you from your podium and knock you down.
Yeah.
And if you can instead say, come on up.
Yeah.
Come up here and join me because it's really fun up here.
It doesn't mean that they're going to be your best friends.
No.
And I think you have to be mindful of the snakes in the grass. I had this situation years ago in networking, and I'm going to keep this really so that nothing gets Really careful. But this individual and I were really good friends. We became really fast friends in a networking event, like fast friends. And then all of a sudden, she like started ghosting me, wouldn't talk to me. I reached out. So it was a hoopla kind of thing. Then fast forward like 4 or 5 years, we're at the same networking event. And so somebody introduces us, like we've never met each other. And she was like, oh, it's nice to meet you. Oh. And I was like, we've known each other. We were friends. Wow. Burn. Anywho, then another networking event, probably like a couple months later, same thing happened. And I was like, okay, she doesn't know me. And then people were like, do you know each other? I'm like, nope, don't know each other. She would pretend. And we got introduced 3 or 4 more times.
That's crazy.
It was so
That's
weird.
very
It was so
bizarre.
weird. Okay, so weird. Okay.
I've had that similar type of situation, but not where they were like, I've never met you before. Because everybody knows me. I'm so big.
And then it was probably like fast forward 2 more years. Then she starts reaching out to me and acting like I'm alive, like she knows who I am. And she starts DMing me on Facebook, and I'm like, oh no, bye-bye, right? And then she then goes into my staff and then reaches out through my staff and says, I'm trying to get a hold of her. Why don't you have her reach out to me? And I'm like, what is happening? So again, one of these things, I did respond to her and just said, please keep my staff and my other people out of this. It's between you and I. And I got really clear about that. But I also am very aware of like the snakes in the grass. Like to the point that was asked this is, who are those people that are not necessarily, when this person saw me on my rise, they're like, oh, let's be friends again. And I'm like, no, you're either with me when I'm in the troughs and you're with me in my rise, or you know what I'm saying? You're with me good, bad, the ugly, versus just being with me when I'm perceived successful to you.
But it's, again,
Yeah.
it's be the bigger person. Be happier. Have more
Yeah.
happiness in your own life. Look at those people who are hating on you and just be like, yeah, but I could have your life.
Like
You
attract
could
like.
be me, or I could be you, and it's pretty good to be me. So having
I just like to- I
a
like to
little
bless and
inner
yeah.
gloat isn't bad.
Yeah, I like to bless and release those that are. I want the people that are going to love me for who I am. Good, the bad, the ugly. The genuine people that get me versus the ones that are just.
I'm going back. Yeah, I'm going back too. We don't know what's happening in other people's
Yeah,
lives.
true. Fair
you
enough.
don't know what's going on, and the reason they were hateful to you, the reason
Yeah.
they were mean to you, the reason they called you a name, whatever may have happened, they dissed on your business
Yeah.
plan, whatever it may be. What's happening to them? So
Yeah,
be
true.
grateful, be
Yeah.
nice, be kind, give them love, like spread joy, love, and confidence. And all of a sudden, that hater
Yeah.
is, why am I hating on that person?
Yeah.
She's doing her best out there.
Yeah.
So,
I do agree with that. And here's a couple things that you can do. So if someone says something to you that does not resonate with you, it doesn't fit with you, all you have to do is say return to sender with consciousness. You don't even have to take it on, because I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, if we are having a funky day and we hear that feedback, we're like, oh my gosh, they must be true. But it goes back to the having massive confidence. When you have that confidence, like Diana was talking about and what you were talking about, it's okay, this doesn't impact me. It's boop, right off. Return to sender with consciousness, not my monkey, not my circus. Thank you. We don't have to give it any more power. And I think sometimes we give it so much more power. We're in that piece. It's just, nope, return to sender with consciousness. I've said this before. It's like getting mail. And if mail comes to the wrong person, you're not going to open it and say, oh my gosh, this is the mail that belongs to Anna. Oh, I'm going to open it. No, you're like, oh, RTS, return to sender. Boom, done. Back in the mail, you get taken care of. And so I think it's important for us to be aware of that. The other thing is I love using kinesiology or muscle testing. Is everyone familiar with that? What kinesiology, muscle test? Yes. And so I will also test, will this be a contribution to my life living in reality if I choose this? If I choose to have this relationship, or if I choose to have this person in my life, or if I bring on this client. Whenever I bring on all clients, I always muscle test to make sure that's an alignment for me, for them, and then we can fast forward it out, because then I know it's a win-win-win for us, and it's really expansive, right? So I just would do this the same way with with your clients, with others, and that way energetically it's a good fit.
My worst is the 2 a.m. You wake up and you just give so much power to that thing that was said to you, the thing that was written, the thing that tripped and fell. Oh, maybe that wasn't the biggest success. And then suddenly it's like it's the size of the universe. And what I try to do, because I'm like, why did that happen? And why, how, what do I do? How do I call? Do I write a letter? How do I do this? I'm like, it is 2 a.m. You cannot solve this. Mm-hmm. Nothing is happening. There's nothing happening to the other person, to the other event, to the situation. You just need to calm down, and nothing's going to happen at 2 a.m. So then when it's happening at 2 p.m. in the middle of the day, I'm like, what if it was 2 a.m.? Can you fix this? Move on. Do something that makes you happy. Turn right. Oh my gosh, my whole life, one of my sayings is, this isn't going well, something's going wrong, I need to turn left. I need to turn left. And I have turned left multiple times. And when I turn left, it is not a small left-hand turn. It is a leap off of a cliff into the ocean. And it's changed my life to be who I am today. I've done some big left-hand turns and they're exciting.
I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to have this other question. It says, how do you get your confidence back when you are not feeling it?
Hot pink panties. I can answer that real fast. When I am feeling really bad, when I am just not doing it, first thing is get yourself into a shower. Get yourself out of the house.
Yeah.
But boy, I love to throw on some great lingerie, and it's mine. I get to own it. I could be wearing sweatpants and a grungy shirt, although I'm almost never in that, because I believe in my armor.
Yeah.
And my armor starts at the base. And if you have those hot pink panties on and a lacy, sexy bra, it's your little secret. It's my little secret. So if I'm having a really bad day and I don't feel well, it's when I'll be looking at my best. And for me, it's not about doing my makeup. It's not about doing my hair. It'll definitely be about some clothes that I'm wearing. But it's my inner thing, which is nobody else knows what's going on under there. And again, you're going like, oh God, today's so hard. I got those panties.
We all know now.
Yeah, y'all know now. We were all talking about our panty colors earlier.
So funny.
I didn't.
But there's something to that, like the clothing, because people always give me a hard time. I've traveled with many of these ladies in this audience today, and people will give me a hard time because I never change out of my work clothes. So until I get to bedtime, and then I'm like, I change out. And so I've traveled, and people are like, you don't have just sweatpants? I'm like, no, because I feel frumpy in that. And so I never wear them. I wear them to work out. I remember one time I was at the airport and I had forgotten to bring like a fifth pair, whatever, however many days, I counted wrong. And so I was like, I could have worn an outfit double. It would not have been a big deal, but I didn't want to. And I was like,
we're the same outfit twice.
I know. Haters being haters here.
I'm being sarcastic.
So I am like wearing my athletic wear that I had just worked out at, and then I go to the airport and I'm wearing sneakers and I'm wearing athletic wear. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna own this, whatever. And people come up to me and like, are you okay? What's going on? And I'm like, and they would not leave me alone because they take pictures. They're like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like seriously, because it was so out of the ordinary. But clothing for me is another place of like feeling confident, right? You just dressed your best to feel that confidence. So going back to this question, how do you get yourself confidence back? Obviously, clothing, you're wearing your armor, which I love that. What are the things that people do? Like feel, love it.
Turn on the music. Ooh, dance party, man.
I love it. Just feel it.
It's a zen
Calm.
moment. And I don't let people like that run space in my head.
Music runs my life. I love music.
First of all, I will wear the same thing 5-6 days in a row. I really can't.
I do too, but it's always like this hot pink dress 5 days in a row.
Right. But coming from Clothes to Kids of Denver, this is all about what our mission is. and thinking about that confidence, and I love the word armor too, because sometimes you need the armor.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And I think for me, it's just standing in my power and calling it back. So sometimes our energy will get what I call scattered. We'll have too many things going with different people, too many conversations, and we'll have scattered energy. Can anyone relate to that, like scattered energy? And so when we get scattered energy, we're not fully in our power and our presence. So what I'll do is I'll take this, and we can do this together. I just imagine closing my eyes, and I just imagine like taking a butterfly net that's really, the mesh is really thin, right? And so there's like really no holes to it. And I just imagine taking that butterfly net around my body and collecting all of my energy. And then I bring it so I collect all the energy that belongs to me back. And any energy that I took on consciously or unconsciously with anyone else from any other lifetimes, realities, dimensions that I took on, I asked for it to return to center with consciousness. So I am giving back their energy. I am taking my energy, pulling it, and then I bring it all the way down from my crown chakra, all the way back down into my body, down into the earth, and then I anchor it into the earth, and then I really feel like myself. And then I imagine like sometimes a golden ball and bringing it back up the roots and expanding out, and I do a couple other things, but that really just taking back my power, taking back my presence, and just standing up. So many times we're like, and I noticed earlier today I was like slouching, but just standing up and just taking back our physical space and our physical power, and just, no, I'm stepping back into my power. And then I will usually just bless and release whoever, what I felt like I was wronged. And I've been starting to do this new practice. And I'm practicing, but I going into a loving space. I do this meditation, which I'm happy to gift all of you if you want. It goes into this like beautiful, like heart opening meditation. And from that heart opening meditation, then I forgive the person who I feel like wronged me or feel like and just set the spiritual equity back in motion so that it's okay.
Do you give yourself that grace?
I do. I'm working on that because I've been hard on myself over the years. I'm my biggest critic. And I've realized in this journey that I'm doing this like love place, not only for myself, but for others too. But it's a practice. I'm not 100%. It's my practice, but that's what I'm working on.
It's a good thing to work on. It's always good to get as much love.
What are you working on right now? What are you working on?
What am I working on right now?
Because I feel like as entrepreneurs, we're always working on something. And I think mine is like coming to that place of love.
Well, I'm doing a pretty good job at what I'm working on right now. And so, like, it's not as hard. I started about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, to just not let others push me around. Not to be pushed around. Not just to constantly say yes to people. And to live my life the way I wanted to live it. And so I have a storefront. I have a shop. And opened in January of 2022. And I think that's where the problem started. The problem started was I felt like I had to be there, someone's gonna show up, I have to be there. And in this last year, I've been like, no, I don't. I can go out and do things, and if the doors are shut there, then I'm not there. And so to be okay with being a failure to someone else, not being there, I'm like, but I'm here for me, and I am going to be there for you. If I am here with you, I am with you and I am present. And I am not there for that person over there. And so to be there and present for the thing that you are doing at that moment and not be concerned about what you're missing out on, what you didn't do, what you haven't gotten to, and just be like, let's do this, and let's finish this, and let's succeed at this, and then we can move on to the next thing.
I love that.
So I'm working real hard at that.
So I grew up in the Midwest, in a small town, and there's always this gas station. And this gas station, it never had actual hours. What was brilliant about it, though, is that anytime it was open, you're like, I gotta get in there. I gotta get in there. And so it created this really dynamic
Scarcity.
scarcity kind of thing, but you're like, oh, I got to do it. So I feel like having your own hours is, am I going to be there? Am I not? I don't know. I know. You better just, if the door's open, you better be getting there. I love it.
Great. People have really been kind to me. You think everyone's going to be like, oh, you're not there and I wanted you to be there. Now they're like, oh, you were out playing tennis? That's awesome. That's so smart that you did that. And they're very understanding that I'm not there. And at first I was like, everyone's going to be mad and no one's going to be happy and no one's going to buy anything anymore. And they're like, oh, I'll come next week. And it's all right. It's okay to do things for yourself and to do things on your own time, at your own schedule, take care of your family, eat properly, exercise, whatever it may be that you want to do what's good for you. And it then goes around and is good for others.
I do think that's the energetics that's happening on this planet. There is a massive shift in case you've been living under a rock. There might be somebody living under a rock. The energetics of this planet are shifting, and I do believe that it's aligning to go back into this place of love. It is aligning for us. And about, I don't know, it was like 2 weeks ago, I had to go into my calendar for about 18, 19 months ago and verify some stuff. And my calendar, I am going to tell you, was off the charts, like schizophrenic, okay? It's very colorful, I color coordinate, but it was busy and crazy, but it was chaotic. But I loved being in that chaotic energy because it's fun. It's fun. It's playful. But I really, starting about a year ago, I was like, I'm being very intentional with my time. I'm being very intentional with who I'm sharing my time with. I'm just been so intentional. And my calendar now looks like 1,000% different. And it brings me great joy.
Less chaos?
Oh, 1,000%. There is no chaos. There's no chaos in my calendar anymore. There's no chaos.
I think that I feel like chaos, it's being busy and there's just constantly another thing to do. But
it revs me. I know. I do too. I do. Okay, how many of you do thrive on it?
I go in waves.
Gosh, I did thrive in it, but now I'm like, I don't have, and I think my whole system was whacked because of it.
How I lived in New York for 20 years. I am from Denver. And I moved to New York because that is my place.
It's
and
like
17-hour
bipolar,
days, running in circles. For me, it's almost as if when the problem happens, when something goes drastically wrong, is when I am at my quietest, my most powerful. I'm like, this is how it's going to happen. The rest of the time I'm going and I'm getting my stuff done, and then all of a sudden disaster hits, and it's and I'm so good at closing down the world around me to focus on the item that needs to be done. And so having that chaotic lifestyle is just, I thrive on chaos. I do. And so it's...
Do you create it though? Because I feel like sometimes when we get addicted to it, then we start to contribute
I don't
creating
think I do.
it.
I don't like chaos. I like excitement. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the wrong word. Like, again, it's this whole thing. Why do I want to be normal? I want it to be weird. I want something odd to happen.
I do.
I want something weird to happen. And
I do like when people surprise me, when people like have that surprise and you're like, oh, I did not see that one coming. I love it.
Yeah.
I do. Like it makes magical moments.
If not, it's too boring
Yeah.
That's true.
for me.
That's true. I do have T-shirts that says I'm a fun pusher because normal is boring. I'm not kidding you. So those. What's that?
So that could be taken so many ways.
So I'll tell you the quick story, and then we're gonna go to a quick break. But so I was at a wedding, and typically weddings are a joyful time. It's a time for celebration. Normally. Normally. And anywho, I was out on the dance floor dancing because I love dancing. That's like my jam. And I'm out on the dance floor, and I pop up off the dance floor, and there's a couple steps, and then there's a little bar area, and then there's a person that I knew, an acquaintance that we used to know each other for some time. She was back in town. We hadn't seen each other in a couple years. And I was like, hey, and this is how I said it, just to her. I'm like, hey, let's call her Martha. Hey, Martha, come join us. Just like that, on the dance floor. Come join us. And she looked at me and she said, Terry, why do you have to be such a fun pusher? And thankfully, my angel was with me, and there was a random guy that I do not know who he was to this day. And I looked at him and I said, hey, I'm a fun fisher. Do you want to go have fun? And he's, hell yeah. So he rescued me back onto the dance floor, thank goodness. But I share that story because so often, to your point, is that person could have gotten in our head. I've been like, oh, now Terry's being a fun pusher. Like, it's a bad thing.
That you then shrink and become smaller
No,
because
like-
you're like, oh, what did I do?
No, and I'm like, I'm gonna be, so now I have t-shirts made, so I'm actually profiting off of her comment. And I was like, you know what, I love it. I love that we don't have to listen to the people that are naysayers. And I get that she was probably having a bad day, although later on, the story goes on. Should I tell you part 2? Because then maybe it's another T-shirt. I don't know. Later on, she cornered me, and she must have been watching my table because I was sitting in a booth, and my husband got up and left, and so she's scooped in, and so I'm trapped in a booth. I think there's a movie, trapped in the booth, and there's no way out. Anyways, and she goes, someone like you've been. What did she say? Someone like I believe you have ADHD because someone like you cannot be that successful. So is that another T-shirt? I got ADHD.
I have other words that are responsive to that comment.
But I was like, wow, here it is. I did do a little, if I tell you what I did, you guys are going to probably judge me.
No, we're gonna judge-free zone. Come on.
Okay, this is what I did. I'm just to remind everyone, this was a long time ago. This was a long time ago. This is probably 18 years ago, okay, 17 years ago. Anywho.
Yesterday.
I went to Barnes & Noble at the time, and I got a really nice, like, lovely Louise Hay book. I forget which one it was, but all of hers were amazing. And I just sent her a love note saying, hey, I wish you the best, and here you go, and I mailed it to her. Oh my gosh, like, here's your personal...
Killed her with kindness.
I killed her with kindness. I sent her a gift. I sent her a gift of love. Anyways.
I love it.
That's what I did.
I think that was a great idea.
I know.
Once again, be the bigger person.
I'm like, here,
joy.
yes,
Spread joy,
you know,
love, and happiness.
not my monkey. Anyways, but I think it's a great point of just not taking on other people's stuff because again, we don't know where they're coming from. No judgment. Let's send them with love. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Friends don't let friends shop for health insurance alone, especially online with a bottle of wine. Skip the spammy calls, endless emails, confusing options. We've got you covered, literally. I'm Deb Salmons with Imagine Choice Customized Health Solutions. No more guesswork. We shop for best plans for you with lower rates the healthier you are. We personalize your plans with confidential information and it's hassle-free. Let us take the stress off your plate so you can focus on what matters most. Imagine Choice Health Insurance with a human touch.
We are back with Anna Fanganello.
See,
I did it! Yay! Oh my goodness. Okay, we're finishing up and we're talking about confidence, but I think there's having overconfidence can get us in some trouble too. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think for me, how that has gotten me in trouble is that somebody once told me, someone you might know, just kidding, I'm kidding, that I came across as intimidating. Because I do have my confidence, right? She sat with me one day and she goes, oh my gosh, you are so much fun. I had no idea. And I was like, really? I think I'm always fun. And she's like, you come across so intimidating. And so I'm like, wow. So once I dropped down that barrier for her, like she's been like fantastic. But if I look back on it, that was probably a detriment of having the overconfidence or being perceived as confident. Now, again, that was her judgment against me, right? Again, her loss, not mine. But once we were able to pull through that, it was okay. She's like, oh, you're so much fun.
See, and I would expect that someone would find me intimidating. And I don't know who it is, and I would be sad for them not to walk up to me and talk to me. But I think that my overbearing, my overwhelming is more about joy and happiness. So I think I'm such an open person.
I feel the same way. I try to invite in people to play with me, and I think that's how it becomes like less intimidating.
So someone once, and so the word intimidating, I think It's hard to come up to people who have tons of confidence when you have great fear. And again, I'm always like, oh my gosh, step up to the plate and go for it.
Yeah.
Like, don't have fear, no fear. I am definitely a no fear kind of person. And if I have fear, it's going to make me want to do it more. But I was told at one point in my life by someone that it was the Ann show. And being told that, it's just the Ann show around here broke my heart. It broke my heart. And when that was said to me, I really took a big look inside to say, we need to make room for everyone else. And it was this whole thing where I have a personality, as do you, that can fill up a whole room. Well, I would like all these people in the room to be with me.
Right.
And so to constantly check myself with, and again, oh my gosh, listening to other people's stories, hearing what people have to say, hearing other people's downfalls, their successes. I mean, it really gives us all such, I changed the way I looked at myself at that point. I had to really take a big look at myself and be like, what did I do to deserve that? And isn't that, it's the Ann show. And that was one of the most heartbreaking things I ever heard.
Well, I think sometimes, like, when we know that we're contributing part of that, it's like one of those things that's like, ouch, that hurt, right? And it's like maybe that awareness that we didn't have, or I just got some feedback the other day, and I was like, that doesn't resonate with me. And I'm like, am I just not seeing it? But I'm like, no, that doesn't resonate with me. And then there's those times when you get that feedback and you're like, oh, ouch. Yep, I feel that one.
Well, and I think also, I mean, I was always like, well, the Ann show's awesome. So what's wrong with you? Come on. Be my guest on this show. And there was something about how it was said and when it was said and what was happening to that I was hurting someone. I was hurting someone. And I had no idea. I had no idea that I was crushing someone else by being so big. And
that's never an intention of myself or yourself or anyone that has big personalities.
It took a lot for me to start working on it, working on the give and take because of this whole thing. If I'm like, yeah, it's the Ann show, and join me as my guest, as my partner, come here and you be the host today. Because the Ann show is awesome. It's really a fun place to live. But to realize that someone was being crushed by I was like, okay, we really have to reevaluate what you think it is, because when someone said those words to me, I was like, that's such a positive thing.
Yeah.
And you just said that in such a negative way. And so being too confident, being too bold. I think another thing is that I can definitely, when the room is too quiet or when there are people who aren't confident, I'm constantly trying to draw people in and draw you out of your shell and bring you into the sunshine that surrounds me. And that's my goal, is to make everyone else happy. You were talking about like what your life purpose is.
Yeah.
I feel like my life purpose is, I want you to feel like I do. I love this life that we are in.
Yeah.
Like having the sun and having the glow and being here. It's so awesome. And you're sad and you're going through something. And so how can I take my happy and put it into your sad and bring us together? I'll take on your sad. I'll take on your, I'll put some weight on my shoulders. And so that push the glow and push the love. I have a bracelet that was given to me, and it's just a little simple silver bracelet, and it's all one piece, and the word love is on it. And I wear that bracelet and it says love this direction. And it means I'm just pushing my love out there. And every once in a while, once a year, I turn that bracelet around because I'm having a hard day. And I know that you are sitting there, and that bracelet just drew in a little sunshine for me.
That's beautiful.
I love that bracelet.
I love that. Not everyone's gonna get love bracelets. Go ahead.
I think with having ultimate confidence in ourselves, for me, I practice a lot of emotional intelligence. having that emotional intelligence to look at this person. Maybe they don't want me to fill them with whatever. Maybe I can just pause and create space for them to allow them to be justified and fine exactly where they are. And I find, even working with clients, I find that if I just create space for people and allow them to be who they are, where they are, it doesn't affect me. I don't have to change anything about my energy level or who I am or what I'm all about. But creating a space for someone and not making them feel they have to give or take, that they can just be, and that is 100% great.
Yeah.
That brings down walls and energy that's negative.
Yeah.
It just does. It just, I don't ever go up to somebody and say, oh, you need my love, you're going through hard times. Maybe they don't want me to do that.
Yeah.
What I like to say is, hey, how's your day going? And then I shut up.
Yeah.
It's hard for people who are confident to shut up.
Are you talking about me?
I'm talking about you and me and maybe a few others. But my point is, I think the levels of emotional intelligence that we give ourselves and give others allows us to not feel like we have to give and take. That we can just experience and give people space.
And just be.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that,
Yeah.
Diane.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
That's fair.
When you're talking about being intimidating, I heard a quote one time and I always think about it. Am I intimidating or are you intimidated?
Yeah.
And when you really dig into what that means, it's wow. So now when I feel like I'm intimidated by someone, I think, okay, why?
Yeah.
Why am I intimidated by them? Is it because they're intimidating or there's something about them that maybe I lack or I don't feel comfortable around or whatever it might be? But that's a quote to chew
No,
on.
I love it.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah, cool.
Ditto.
Phaedra, did you want to?
Any other comments or thoughts right here? Yeah. And everyone that's popping in here, I'd love to hear your comments. So drop your comments in the links below as well. Love to hear from you. Anything else, real quick?
My brother likes to say I'm a lot. That's his word. A lot.
I'm a lot.
I'm like, well, sorry. It is what it is. I got what I got.
I love it. And I think there's no judgment. I mean, once we know who we truly are and show up in that, that's where our power is. You know that this is your big energy. I know that I show up with big energy as well. I have this inability to know that I'm short. Like I feel like I'm 5'7". I identify as 5'7". But I feel like it's just the energy, right?
And you're wearing me.
I know. These are my sit-only shoes. So I feel tall sitting here. No, but I know. I think it's when we go back to what is being back in our power, being back in our presence, being back in our true self is powerful and unstoppable.
Well, I think nobody wants to hurt someone else.
No.
Like, and I would never want my confidence to make someone else feel bad. And so it is about paying attention to the person across from you and what do they want. And for you to just sit there and talk all day about what a rock star you are when they don't need to hear that, it is about paying attention and listening. And I loved this, just be quiet. Look at the two of us. That's hard.
But I do agree with that. I do agree that there's a balance of that, right? There's a balance of that. And I think for me, I know that it's like about generating that energy. It's about generating that creativity and that energy with another person, right? So has this been helpful to everyone? Really quickly, any quick tips around just building confidence and creating or maintaining confidence?
Well, again, I start with my center. I start with myself and getting your confidence level up and ready and going for the day. For me, it does start with how I stand up, my posture, what my armor, what I'm wearing, how I'm going to approach my day. If I'm going into a big meeting that I am nervous about, it is put on a smile, feel good. Feeling good when you leave your house. Don't be like, I'm going to skip my coffee on the hard day. And so I think starting your day feeling good about yourself. Sometimes if I'm really shaken up, if I'm really nervous, then I go take a walk. Walk around the block. I mean, taking a walk around the block can really help just get you grounded, move you away from what the situation is. You know, on the tennis courts, I just looked over and saw one of my tennis girls, and if I double fault and I'm doing something wrong and I just can't make my shot, I will turn around and I go touch the fence behind me. I'll go take a big glug of water. It's walk away from the situation, even for 5 seconds. And if you give yourself that moment, I have people who like put their racket on the ground and then they pick it back up. And it seems crazy, but it is an actual separation. Separate yourself. And so that separation is walk out the door of your office and go down. And it's not about going to the bathroom. I don't know why. For me, it's about walk down some stairs you haven't been down before. Do something really unusual, because it snaps your brain and it changes your perspective.
It disrupts it.
Disrupting.
Yeah, it disrupts
of
it.
this concept.
Movement is the fastest way to shift the energy. And so even if you're just standing up and doing 10 jumping jacks or doing like the cross crawls, whatever it is, it's the fastest way to shift the brain and
Oh my gosh.
get back into the
I stand up and spin around 5 times.
Do you know? Okay,
I do that a lot.
So,
if you see me spinning around in my store, it's because I was having a brain like insanity, and I'm like, spin around 5 times. Oh, okay.
So
what's
this
going
is
on?
super random. If you stand up and you stand up and you bring your hand to the left and you spin left, your energy will go down. You'll bring your energy down. And if you spin to the right, you bring your energy up. So depending on what you need in your body, you can spin up or spin down. Left is less, right is more. And so
I spin.
you'll have to
I
pay
do know
attention,
I spin.
and you can stop. We'll all do it afterwards and do this little experiment, and it's pretty wild. You'll feel it in your body. Really cool.
What do other
fun.
people do? I want to know how you build your confidence up.
I take 8 minutes.
Take
8 minutes. I
5
love it.
feels too fast and 10's too much.
8 minutes. I love it.
I just-
Real quick, what are some other fast ways to build confidence or step back into confidence?
Breathing.
Breathing. Love it. I love Kundalini breathing. If you're not familiar with that, it's an active breathing. It's fantastic for resetting. Any other quick things?
Just go back to like just certain accomplishments, certain things that you knew, or go back to like what you've achieved that you didn't think you could achieve, and you're like, I got it.
Love it.
Remember a success. That's another one. When I'm just feeling like, oh my God, I have to get this project done. This has to get done today. And then you just like can't, and you bring yourself to remember when you did that.
Yeah.
Remember that successful moment. And then you're like, I can do this.
Love it.
I
Love
like
it.
that one.
How many of you are familiar with the Golden Buddha story?
Not
Okay, so I'm going to share the story as we wrap up today. In 1957, there was monks in Bangkok, Thailand, and they were in the process of moving this big, gigantic Buddha from one direction to the next. And during the move, the Buddha slipped and some of the plaster cracked off. And so the monk that was in charge was obviously distraught. And he went down and put over a tarp over it. And then later that night, he went and shined a flashlight on it to make sure, because it started raining, to make sure it was dry. And he noticed something shining back to him. So in further discovery, what they found was this golden Buddha that stood 10 feet tall, 5.5 tons, with a net worth of about $250 million at the time. Right now, the net worth is $325 million on this golden Buddha. So the theory is that when the Burmese had invaded Thailand, the monks had taken precaution and they covered this entire golden Buddha with clay and painted it to make it look worthless. All of the monks had been massacred, so this was unknown for over 200 years. So when you think about the word discover, right, we're taking off the cover to what's already there. And I love going back to this golden Buddha because I believe that every single one of us has this golden Buddha within. It's what we are here to do. It's our gift to the planet. We talked about this earlier about what is that gift and what are we here to do? And every single one of us. And now some of us have put on some of that clay accidentally. Some of this has been taken on by other people. And sometimes we've been painted to look worthless, right? And so it's the work that we get to do to uncover ourselves and say, no, I'm standing into my power, my presence, questions. And so with that, I have a little gift for everyone just to remind you of your golden Buddha. So take a golden nugget, pass it around as a reminder that we are all this brilliant being inside, and we absolutely deserve to be seen, 100%.
I love that story. I've never heard that.
Oh,
And the word discover. Discover
taking the cover
is
off.
taking the cover off and look at all the little wonderfulness that's inside.
Love it.
I love that.
Well, this has been most delightful. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people find your website?
So I am at festasports.com, which is festa, like a party. Festa is the word party in Italian. So fiesta is Spanish and festa. And so it's Festa Sports. And I run a clothing store. I have online is the athletic things, but it's all about body and image and your image of yourself and wearing comfortable clothing and wearing the thing that's right for your body. And if you are comfortable and you feel good and you look good, then you're more successful. We go from extra, extra small to 3X. We're for tall people, short people, apple shaped, stick straight. That's what I'm all about. I'm your local fashion therapist.
Love it. I love it. So with that, I hope that you have taken away a few nuggets, literally, around tapping into, yes, get up, grab a nugget. Really tapping into your brilliant being. And as always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you, and massive love to all of you. We'll see you on the next episode. Woo! Therapist, spiritual guide, business coach. My unique method blends mindset, energy, and business mastery for deep, lasting change. Ready to become unstoppable? Learn more at talkingwithterry.com.